The anatomy of Australopithecus sediba is the foundation upon which all scientific interpretation of the species rests. Unlike many early hominid discoveries which are based on isolated fragments or partial skeletons, Australopithecus sediba provides an unusually complete dataset. The remains of MH1 and MH2 allow researchers to examine the species across multiple anatomical regions, enabling functional interpretations that are rarely possible for Australopiths. This section presents a comprehensive region-by-region analysis of Australopithecus sediba's anatomy, drawing on peer-reviewed studies published between 2010 and 2020. Each anatomical system examines in relation both earlier Australopiths and early members of genus Homo. The goal is to evaluate the morphological evidence objectively without presupposing phylogenetic placement. The cranium of MH1 is one of the most complete Australopith skulls ever recovered. Its morphology provides critical insights into brain size, cranial architecture, and potential neurological reorganization. MH1's endocranial volume is estimated at 420 to 450 cubic centimeters, consistent with Australopithecus africanus, Australopithecus afarensis, and Paranthropus boisei. This places Australopithecus sediba firmly within the Australopith range and well below early Homo species such as Homo habilis, between 510 and 650 cc's, and Homo erectus, 700 to 1200 cc's. Despite its small size, the brain of Australopithecus sediba exhibits derived features. Synchrotron imaging revealed that expansion of orbitofrontal cortex, reorganization of the inferior frontal gyrus, and a more human-like pattern of frontal lobe asymmetry. These features suggest that neurological reorganization preceded brain enlargement, a significant finding in hominid evolution. The cranial vault is moderately rounded, less pneumaticized than Paranthropus, and thinner than Australopithecus africanus. The face shows reduced prognathism compared to Australopithecus africanus, a smaller zygomatic flare, and more vertically oriented mandibular symphysis. These traits align more closely with early Homo than with early Australopiths. The dentition of Australopithecus sediba is one of the most informative aspects of its anatomy. Compared to other Australopiths, Australopithecus sediba has smaller molars, reduced premolars, and a narrow dental arcade. These features contrast sharply with the megadontia of Paranthropus and align more closely with early Homo. The enamel thickness is intermediate, thicker than Homo erectus, thinner than Africanus. This suggests a diet that required moderate chewing forces, but not heavy grinding associated with hard object feeding. Microwear studies show high incidence of pits, low incidence of scratches. This pattern is consistent with consumption of leaves, bark, fruits, and other C3 woodland foods. Isotopic analysis confirms a C3-dominated diet, unusual for early Pleistocene hominins. The mandible of MH2 provides insight into masticatory function. The mandible is less robust than Australopithecus africanus, more gracile than Paranthropus, and similar in proportion to early Homo species of East Africa. The masseter and temporalis attachment areas are reduced, indicating lower bite forces, less reliance on heavy chewing, and a shift towards softer, more varied foods. This aligns with the microwear and isotopic evidence. The axial skeleton of Australopithecus sediba reveals a transitional thoracic morphology. MH1 preserves several vertebrae, showing lumbar curvature consistent with habitual bipedalism, a relatively long lumbar region. Vertebral body proportions intermediate between Australopiths and Homo. The thorax is particularly interesting. The upper thorax is narrow, similar to Australopiths. The lower thorax is wider, approaching the human condition. This suggests a combination of climbing-related shoulder mechanics and bipedal lower body locomotion. The thoracic morphology supports interpretation of Australopithecus sediba as a species with mixed locomotor capabilities. The upper limb of sediba is a mosaic of primitive and derived traits. Scapula and clavicle indicate a high upward-oriented shoulder joint, a strong muscle attachment for climbing, and a configuration similar to Africanus afarensis. This suggests that arboreal behavior remained an important part of the species' locomotor repertoire. The humerus and radius show curvature consistent with climbing, robust muscular attachment sites, and a relatively long forearm. These traits indicate powerful climbing upper limb musculature. MH2's hand is one of the most important and complete early hominid hands ever discovered. Long, robust thumbs, shortened fingers, well-developed thenar musculature, joint surface optimized for precision grips. These traits suggest potential for fine manipulation, tool-related behaviors, and advanced manual dexterity. Some of the more primitive features are curved phalanges, strong flexor tendon attachments, and wrist morphology consistent with climbing. The hand of sediba is therefore a functional hybrid, capable of both arboreal locomotion and precision manipulation. The pelvis of MH2 is one of the most anatomically significant elements of the species. The ilium is short, broad, and laterally flared. These features resemble early Homo more than Australopiths. The hip joint shows a human-like orientation, reduced distance between acetabellum and sacrum, and a configuration optimized for efficient bipedalism. The birth canal is more narrow than Homo erectus, but wider than Australopithecus africanus. This suggests a modest increase in neonatal head size and a traditional stage in obstetric evolution. The pelvis is one of the strongest arguments for close relationship between Australopithecus sediba and early Homo. The lower limb of Australopithecus sediba reveals a unique form of bipedalism. The femur shows a long femoral neck, a medially angled shaft, and a small femoral head. These traits indicate habitual bipedalism, but with a difference from both Australopiths and modern humans. The tibia exhibits a human-like tibial plateau, a valgus angle knee, and adaptations for shock absorption during upright walking. The ankle is particularly unusual. The talus is human-like, the calcaneus is primitive, and the Achilles tendon attachment is reduced. These features suggest a gait involving hyperpronation, medial rotation of the knee, a distinctive pivoting motion during walking. This gait is unlike any hominid past or present. The anatomy of sediba reveals a species with a small but reorganized brain, human-like teeth and pelvis, a hand capable of precision manipulation, a shoulder and arm adapted for climbing, and a unique form of bipedal locomotion. This mosaic pattern indicates that evolutionary change did not occur uniformly across the skeleton. Instead, different anatomical systems evolved at different rates. likely in response to ecological pressure. Australopithecus sediba's anatomy is a complex mixture of primitive and derived traits. Its cranial, dental, and pelvic features align with early Homo, while its upper limbs and thoracic morphology retain strong Australopith characteristics. The lower limb reveals a unique form of bipedalism not seen in other hominins. This anatomical complexity is central to ongoing debate about the species' phylogenetic position. Thanks again for watching this documentary on Australopithecus sediba. This is part 2 of 6. Each episode will be released every 2 weeks, and this should take me through my last bit of classes. If there's any time remaining, I will be taking a little break from long-form content, and I will be revamping the channel slightly when I return. I'll still be producing shorts, maybe not daily, but pretty often. If there's anything you'd like to see or hear more of, feel free to comment below. Leave me a message on the page. My email is in my information. Don't forget to check out the TikTok. I have a Facebook and also an Instagram. Links are in the channel. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe for more deep dives here on Fossil Matrix.